You know, I drink Gatorade during streams because it helps me feel active. I don't know why, but I know that water is also good for hydration, but at least Gatorade kind of gets me more, the feeling of let's do this. Like, it gets me in that, pumped up feeling. But yes, let's go ahead and go to chapter select. Oh, wait, nope, not chapter select. Oops. I meant to click inspect my memories, not chapter select. Well, actually, let's see what the pages say. Chapter 2. The year is 1707, and the mansion lies in ruins. A ferocious beast taking up residence in the once beautiful property. The beast, hungry and alone, tells the maid he merely wishes to live in peace. But before long, he loses control of his innate savagery, and a massacre ensues. Hello, Lawyer! Welcome to the stream! Elsewhere, in a city overlooking the sea, a young woman named Pauline sets out in search of her lover after learning he has supposedly died in a shipwreck. You know, it really does feel like these stories are connected from the description alone. Well, I mean, they obviously are because they're in the same chapter, but at the same time though, it's more obvious after you read the chapter how connected Pauline's storyline as well as the Beast's storyline are. And now we're in Jacopo's story. Jacopo. I need to keep on reminding myself how to pronounce Jacopo's name. Jacopo. Okay, Jacopo. Yes. Jacopo is really hard for me to remember how to pronounce. I guess I've never really seen the name Jacopo. Jacopo looks angry sad. He did. He did look angry sad in that photo. This is something that actually happened to another maid. Oh? She heard a sound in the middle of the night. Are we hearing maid ghost stories? A sound like dripping water. At first, she thought it was raining, so she looked through the window, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky to cover the stars. Maybe it's a faucet, she thought. So she stepped out of her room and into the corridor. This gives me heavy Beatrice tale vibes, because in Umineko, the maids had always told stories of Beatrice. This is really giving me Beatrice tales, vibes. Compared to her room, it was unearthly chilly. The maid regretted not bringing something to cover herself with. But that didn't make any sense. Normally, the temperature wasn't that much colder outside her room. Her night clothes had always been more than enough for a trip to the lavatory. Wondering what the reason could be, she made her way toward the sound. But then, she realized something. There were no faucets in the direction she was going. Rather, she was headed toward a hall. The mansion where she served had many halls, but this one was off in a far corner of the house, at the least used hall of them all. It had a high roof, but not a lot of space, so it was difficult to make good use of. It also had a somewhat heavy air to it. A very curious room. It was the kind of place you might assign someone to clean as part of their hazing. Anyway, when the maid realized the sound was coming from that particular hall, she, as you might expect, let out an uncomfortable sigh. But there might be a leak, and having noticed, she couldn't simply ignore it, Wow, I totally missed that second part of the line until I clicked. So, as much as she hesitated, she pushed open the doors to the hall. There was nobody there, and it didn't look like anything was leaking either. There were no puddles or water stains anywhere to be found, but she could still hear the sound. Drip, drip, getting louder and louder. Slowly stepping further into the room, looking left, then right, then left again. She searched for the source of the sound, coming to a stop in the center of the hall. That is such an intense... Is that a cat? Oh my god, that's such an intense gif. She stood there, still, quiet, and then a chilly spot on the nape of her neck. With a little yelp, she reached back to feel her neck, but it wasn't wet. Confused, she slowly, warily tilted her head backward. Oh. And there hung a bloody skeleton from the ceiling! Ah! Jacopo's scared of that? Jacopo's scared of that? That's rich. Amazing. Oh my god! You screamed like a little girl! Maria! You little... My god! Are you men or children? This is my house, and I would rather you didn't talk about it like that. Wait, is this Maria saying this? Or is this Jacopo? No, this is Maria. Oh, ad? Oh, yeah. I'm getting a lawnmower ad. Huh. I'm getting a lawnmower ad. Yeah, we still have a minute of the ad, so I might, like, you know... Yep, you're back? Okay. Yep, no problem. Whose words were those again? Shut your mouth. How do you know about that? Were you eavesdropping? And another thing, I do not care for the sort of stupid, fantastical tales your women love to pass around. Because they scare you? You've never been able to handle anything scary, Jacopo. Gah! Whoa! Don't glare at me like that. You're gonna destroy my sides. So, did you come here for the sole purpose of telling me that cheap trick? Acting tough after the fact just makes you look like twice as much of a wuss. Well, I mean, I did make up a good half of it, but the maid really did hear a sound in the middle of the night. And it came from the back hall of this very mansion. Did you know? I say it used to be a chapel. Again, I have no interest in your woman's little ghost stories. Is that so? You sure you're not just scared? Maria! Well, that said, the rumors aren't completely unfounded. This is a pretty old mansion, and it had a lot of work done on it. Kinda feels like it's barely holding itself together. Like a big old quilt with pieces from all different time periods. Wow, you're really just describing what this mansion is, Maria. The back hall is one of the oldest patches. There's a huge window on the far end, and supposedly there used to be stained glass in it. It was a depiction of an archangel, they say. Such a shame. I wonder when it was broken. I wonder too. I wonder who broke it. If it were still there, I bet it'd be worth a fortune. I find that hard to believe. First of all, why would they put up a chapel inside of a mansion? You've got a point, I guess. Now, how about you do some actual work, instead of distracting yourself with all this nonsense? I do work. But, the other maids can be a bit nasty, you know? Dealing with other women is like walking on glass. Are they gonna bond over sexism? Am I to blame for that? What if I said you were? Don't give me that look. They're just not fond of me. Simple as that. Nothing you can do about it. Is that so? Oh yeah, I was talking to the madame, and she was telling me you used to be quite the gentleman. perhaps, actually in love back then. You sure don't act like it, so it's easy to miss, but I guess you're not entirely made out of steel. Just like when you were younger, you're still... Do not speak of that. The past is not worth remembering, so it is unnecessary. So to you, the past exists just to be cast aside? Nah, it's not important. You don't want me to talk about it, so I won't talk about it. But your wife... Never mind. I'll leave you be. I have to get back to work soon, or I'll be staring down the headmaid's Arctic smile. Alright. If the fancy strikes me, I'll drop by, and we can trade more ghost stories. Maria. What? No ghost stories? No, not that. I have not forgotten about those days. But, no, it's I... Can't find the words. I'll be off then. Alright. If the fancy strikes you, drop by, and we can trade something other than ghost stories. What did I tell ya? I'll consider it. Goodbye. Ooh, that's a good sprite. Ooh, I do like the turn sprite. I actually like that sprite. Although he kind of looks like Michael Jackson here. God damn it! I can't escape anything! Interesting. Ah, they have grown to be so beautiful. Such a wonderful fragrance. The scent of roses is so calming. I wonder why that is. Would it cause any trouble if I picked one? Well, hello there. Out for a midnight stroll, are you? Quite the peculiar hobby. Madame? I cannot spend as much time as I would outside during the day, so I end up coming out at night. I apologize if I startled you. Oh no, not at all. There is a chilling, captivating beauty to the sight of your snow-white form, standing there in the moonlit garden. I would hardly... what are you doing out so late? I saw a figure through the window. On the slight chance it might be a burglar, I thought it my responsibility to ensure they did not break in. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servants broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I am sure you would have heard about it. Oh, but Jamoksh was impressioned some time ago. Gamoksh? Jamoksh? Gamosh was impressioned some time ago. I don't know if this is a reference to something. Is this a reference? Gamosh? I don't know if this is a reference or not. I might... Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick search on Google. Hold on. Gamosh. Is this a reference? No, I don't think this is a reference. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Nah, I think this is just an in-game, like, statement. It's not anything. Dear me. Cannot seem to get my head out of the past. Door 1. Door 1. Oh, man. I played, like, Door 1 a few months ago, and I should remember this, but... Gamosh. God, that's such a far back... You know, that's just a far back reference in this game. Like, I should know this, but for some reason, I'm lost on the whole, you know, reference. Huh. She's testing her if she remembers her old self. Ah. Okay. I think if I was the white hair girl, I would also fail the test. Do you intend to give that white rose to someone? Yes. I was thinking about giving it to my husband. While I expect he has little fondness for such feminine taste, the scent of flowers has a truly calming effect. He might find it relaxing when he needs a reprieve from his work. Oh, is that so? You are very kind-hearted. Speaking of white roses, the rose he meant to give you was the same shade of white. Oh? He? But when you touched it, it turned a deep shade of red. Oh my god, she's trying really hard to get the white hair girl to remember door 1. Do you remember? There was but a single white rose in the garden, so he was unable to give it to you as he had wished. In its place, he had a decorative rose fashioned for you. What exactly are you referring to? Oh dear, do you not remember? Then I am to assume you have forgotten what happened to the rose accessory as well? He was unable to give that to you either. But that time, you rejected the gift. I am not criticizing you for that decision, of course. You had a perfectly good reason for not accepting it. Heartbroken from having lost you, he buried the rose in his garden. Over the years, the roses in the garden withered away, and in their place grew a thick, unsightly nest of weeds. Many, many years later, the accessory was dug up by a beast. And curiously enough, it had not a speck of rust on it. A beast. You do not remember him either? The foreign man who, through his interaction with you, almost regained his humanity. I'm sorry. I have no idea what you speak of. The only gift I have ever received from a man is my Finascus wheel. And furthermore, I have only lived in this mansion for a year. While the garden was not as thriving as it is now, it was certainly not in ruins when I arrived. Because I had been taking care of it, yes. But, for whatever reason, by my hands alone, I was unable to make it into anything quite as splendid as it is now. Once you arrive and began work on it, however, just look around. You have restored it to its former glory, to the magnificence of the Flaxenhair family's time. I promise I am not trying to fault you for anything. Now that I think about it, it makes sense you would not remember. Though you are still you are different than before. Different. Though not in the sense you are a wholly distinct person. Tell me, is your name again? My name is... Yes, but you should already know that. Again? More proof that you are, indeed, you. Did you know that your current name is pronounced the same as the name of the person you are waiting for? Oh, interesting. Pronounced the same as the name of the person you are waiting for. Very interesting. That's a very interesting comment from the maid. What are you talking about? I have met you many times, and I know of your past, of events that transpired long ago. Uh, I, I'm telling you the truth. I first came to this mansion just a year ago. Until then, I had never left my country, or even set foot out of my own house. We did not have any servants either. So where, then, are you saying we met? This mansion, of course. Remember that for later. Noted. Noted. Pronounce the same as the person that she's looking for. But I'm telling you the truth. It was a year ago, shortly after my parents fell ill and received an offer for my marriage. I knew something had to be done. I knew it, and I'm telling the truth. If that is what you remember, then I do not doubt you. But I also suspect I know why you seem so flustered. Are there moments when your memories seem hazy? When it seems like important details have fallen through the cracks? You needn't fret. Needn't fret. That is such a line. That is such a line. One day, eventually, you shall remember all. One day. One day indeed she will remember her memories. Oh, is it Jacopo? What the hell is this? A white rose? Did she leave this here? A flower. What does she think she's doing? Is she trying to aggravate me? That garden. That damn rose garden is the whole problem. Flowers serve no purpose but to deceive. That garden is a sign of weakness. It has no place in this house. Approximately a week had passed since then. The white-haired girl was, as usual, spending her time in her room reading, staying inside the house. Then, Maria barged in. Madame! Madame! Oh my, you're out of breath. What happened? What happened is we have a big problem! The garden! The rose garden! The garden? All the roses you put so much love and care into are being chopped down! We'll lose them all if we don't hurry! Upon hearing the news, the white-haired girl dashed from her room and toward the garden, with Maria following close behind. Damn, Jacopo. When she arrived, she saw a dozen or so sweaty, rugged men at work, Jacopo shouting orders. The men clearly had no concept of how much a single flower was worth, no concern whatsoever for their beauty. For they mercilessly, thoughtlessly hacked away at the shrubs, like they were naught but weeds. Each flower they tore from the earth extinguished another of the many lives the white-haired girl had put so much time and effort into tending for. Jacopo! What are you? Oh, hello, Maria. Oh, that's not even Jacopo's voice. Jacopo is too kind. Yes. He is too kind. He knows the white-haired girl loves those flowers, so he's trying to chop them all down to hand them over to her, obviously. Yeah, he's having them all cut off because he wants to, give them to her. Oh, hello, Maria. I didn't God, where is his voice coming from, Jacopo? Hold on. I'm trying to do like a Bryce Papenbook impersonation for Jacopo. Oh, hello, Maria. I didn't expect you would come with her. Why would you do? Why? Why, it goes without saying. This house has no need of a garden. Damn flowers have no place here. Might as well do something worthwhile with the soil. He's a very Italian guy. I am not great at accents, so I'm like, I am trying to do an Italian tinge. It's just that I am horrible at accents, so I'd rather, you know, not fuck up entirely with the accent. Like, I'm gonna try a little bit, but I'm not good at Italian accents.
A miniature railroad would be better use of the space, and certainly a great deal easier on the eyes. I could even get my hands on some genuine wheels. The same wheels being used on the revolutionary Transcontinental Railroad.
God.
10 or 20 years down the line, they will be worth a fortune.
Jacopo! You know how much this garden meant to me, don't you? Yeah, some hesitation.
Did it honestly have no place here?
Flowers have a calming effect on people. They give you peace. They are not, by any means, worthless.
So you're saying that white roses was your passive-aggressive way of telling me to calm down?
Damn.
Not at all. I simply thought you... At the end of the day, you're just using them for your own purposes, to trick and deceive. To you, this rose garden was nothing but... Jacopo! You've gone too far. This isn't right. Gone too far. This is my mansion. What I do with my property is my business. With that rose arch out of the picture, we have a much better view. There won't be anything blocking the sun any longer. Weren't you supposed to be sensitive to sunlight? Damn. Spend too much time out there, and you're liable to fall ill. Get back inside, now. You too, Maria.
The poor thing, though she did not say a word, was surely thinking. Are you truly that determined to rob me of my sanctuary? The words swirled around in her head, unable to make the final journey to her lips. Hold on. There we go. She stood there, looking down at her own feet as her husband marched off, and listened to the screams of the roses being reaped. After being torn down by Jacopo, the garden reverted to a state of ruined desolation. A shame, after all the work that went into restoring it to the beauty it had under the flaxen-haired family. And as Jacopo had said, in its place went scraps of metal, train reels, prototype models, carbon rods. Wait, what happens if it rains? Jacopo, have you thought about rain? These items may have had value for him, but I certainly do not think it was worth robbing his wife of a place that made her feel comfortable just so he could store them there. Besides, I was rather fond of the rose garden myself. The roses seemed to evoke a sense of nostalgia in me. I felt as though, somewhere far beyond the edge of my memories, I had seen another garden of roses, modest as though it may have been. But I cannot remember what it was. Does that come as a surprise to you? I am quite sure there are periods of the mansion's history of which I am not aware. But in any case, Jacopo had caused many people great pain in order to repurpose that garden for himself. And he continued to walk all over his wife. Whenever she tried to do something kind for him, he would brush her off saying, "That's not your place." He paid no mind whatsoever to the looks of dejection that rose to her face each time he rejected her. I was beginning to wonder if anything she had said about the man he had been a year earlier was actually true. And if it was true, could a person really go through such a drastic change of heart in such a short time? What do you think, Master? No, I have spoken enough about me already. I seem to be talking a lot about myself this time. But that is hardly appropriate behavior for a maid. Now, let us return to our tale.
That evening, the white-haired girl sat in her room, staring sorrowfully at her phanascus wheel. A small mirror before her, she tried spinning the paper disc. But it was not the same as before. But it was just not the same as before. Her husband was not there at her side. And even more critically, there was not a smile on her face. And then, she heard a faint knock on her door. Maria? Who is it? It's me, madame. It's me. May I come in? Oh, Maria. Of course, come in. What are you doing here at this time of night? Was just wondering how you were doing. Should I have left you alone? Oh, it's no trouble at all. I am always glad to have you. You're making me blush, madame. I got the feeling you were a little down in the dumps. So I'm not here because I need to be. I just kinda ended up here, I guess. Maria. Sorry, I'm not making any sense. I could be a bit of a busybody, you know? Trouble with boundaries, I guess. Never been able to fix that. No. I don't consider you intrusive at all. I cannot count how many times your bright smile and cheerful energy has shone a light on me when things were dark. If I didn't have you, I would have given up already. You seem to see right through me. Even now, you are exactly right. I am feeling a little dispirited. That garden was an even bigger life raft than I thought. Perhaps I am being overly dramatic, but the roses were almost like children to me. I get it. I do. You put your heart and soul into tending that garden. It was obvious how much you loved them. Of course it's gonna hurt watching a bunch of men stomp all over your flowers when you care for them like your own children. Now, I know I said this once already, but you don't need to force yourself to put up with him, really. You don't have to bend to his will just because you're a woman. You can survive without him. Anytime you want to walk away, that's your choice. I mean, I'd sure be lonely if you left, madame. But your happiness is more important than any of that. So, you know. Thank you, Maria. I truly do appreciate it. But I'll still like to wait for the day I can see his warm smile once more. If you say so. Well, in that case, I guess I have to be there to back you up. It'll be alright. You leave everything to this holy virgin. Why did you just call yourself the Holy Virgin? Now I'm wondering if you're a virgin or not. Because why would you just casually just drop that, Maria? I'll have a stupid grin on my face no matter how down you're feeling. You really are the reincarnation of the Mother of God, aren't you? Oh, you! I told ya! It's just a joke. Whatever. So hey, madam. How about dance? Dance? At this time of night? Yep, and since it's so late, no loud music. All you get is a little whistling, courtesy of me. But this room is too small for... We'll use the Great Hall! Wouldn't that put us in everyone else's way? You would probably complain about the noise too. No need to worry. Jacopo's out inspecting some factory or something today. After that, he's got a meeting, so he'll be staying the night elsewhere. The rest of the maids are in their rooms chatting away. No one will notice. Where I come from, we dance all the time. We take, eat, drink, and be merry to the heart. No food or drink for us, but we absolutely can dance. Dancing's a great way to forget all your cares. I'm not much of a dancer. No big deal. Nobody's watching. Come on, put a little fancy perfume and let's have some fun. I don't have any perfume though. Didn't think so. You've got all the right ingredients, madame, but you don't try to make anything special out of them. You've got so much potential, but not even a decent-sized wardrobe. At the very least, you should wear some perfume. Which is why... Ta-da! I brought some with me! The maids are in love with this stuff. It's a big hit with women all over the country. The base is vanilla, and it's got several other fragrances mixed in. Give it a try. It smells divine. But Maria, Come on, what's the harm? Just a little splash on your wrist like so. What do you think? Ah. You are right. It smells wonderful. Doesn't it? So you like it? Yes, very much so. Excellent! Now, off we go to the Great Hall! Are we really going to dance? You bet your butt you are! We are. It's not healthy to hole up in your room all day. I know you just can't handle a lot of sunlight, but you still gotta have some fun and move your body. Come on, let's go! Oh, Maria! Though she looked outwardly uncertain as Maria led her forward, hand around her wrist, the white-haired girl seemed to be enjoying herself on the inside. Having spent her life without a single friend, she never dreamed the day would come when she would find herself being dragged through the empty halls of a dark mansion by another woman. Maria's presence seemed to shine a light upon the quiet corridor. It would have been a very lonely trek without her. Maria spun around, gave an impeached smirk, and raised her pointer finger to her lips with a soft... The sight of it caused the white-haired girl to chuckle quietly. The two of them, on their way to their secret, private ball, were like two adolescent girls. In short order, they arrived at the Great Hall. My heart was pounding all the way here. What's there to be nervous about? It's not like you're breaking any rules. Only kids get in trouble for staying up late. Once you've grown up, you're responsible for yourself. Enjoying the music? I will say, though, that it seems rather odd for two women to dance together. Oh? If you're having a good time, what does it matter what's between your legs? Where I come from, there's dances where families lock arms in a big ring and go around in circles. So who says two girls can't have some fun together? I imagine you had many good moments with your family. Well, I don't have a family anymore. What? Alright, I'll show you how it's done. Watch carefully, cause you're up next. Okay. With a wide grin on her face, Maria began whistling softly and prancing across the floor with an energetic rhythm. It was not the kind of complicated dance you'd see at fancy parties. The motions were simple, flowing, unembellished. A folk dance, I suppose you might call it. She seemed to be improvising a little bit as well. But in any event, the white-haired girl was captivated. Despite it being a sequence of steps anyone could replicate, Maria breathed life into the dance. I kinda hope there's a CG for this scene. She was neither as lithe as an acrobat, nor as light on her feet as a professional dancer. She was her own, lively, beautiful self. Maria trolled in place, the skirt of her maid uniform billowing gently up around her. With a smile, She extended her hand toward the white-haired girl. She hesitated for a moment, but as if being pulled forward by some invisible force, she took Maria's hand. Hand in hand, Maria ushered the white-haired girl into her dance. It was just the two of them, but you could almost see the crowd forming around them. The other people stepping up to join in.
That's it, madame. Doing great. Now, if you lift your leg up, good, and spin like so.
This is not easy, Maria. I'm having trouble following along.
You can do it. Looking good so far. You're a natural, madame.
Oh, Maria. I won't fall for your flattery. I mean it. The whispers of the two girls. Their muffled laughs. Step, hop, step, step. The rustling of fabric. Many different soft sounds layered atop of one another, creating a little bubble of happiness in the center of the hall. The white-haired girl's movements were a great deal clumsier than Maria's, but Maria would never disparage her for that. On the contrary, she showered her with praise. As flustered as the white-haired girl appeared, I imagined she was quite pleased. Before long, the tightness in her face muscles loosened, a smile spread across her lips, and she began to brighten up.
See? What did I tell ya? Fun, huh?
Yes, I am quite surprised, both that I can dance and that I enjoy doing it so much.
Glad to hear it.
They exchanged looks and both laughed. That might have been the first time I had ever seen the white-haired girl so delighted. However, because of her infirmity, she quickly found herself out of breath, her porcelain skin flushed red. Maria immediately stopped for a break. She could surely have continued dancing for some time yet, but Maria was conscious of the white-haired girl's physical condition. She looked over at Maria regretfully. My apologies. If only I had more stamina. I am hardly a suitable partner for you, Maria.
Sure you are. This is all to cheer you up, madame. So as long as you're having fun, nothing else matters. And heck, I was enjoying myself plenty too. What do you think? Wouldn't it be nice to do this again sometime? Whenever you're feeling down, let's dance.
If you really do enjoy dancing with a frail girl like me, then I will be glad to.
Have a little more confidence in yourself, madame. You're so pretty and kind-hearted. I have loads of fun when I'm with you. So you don't need to be so hard on yourself. Got it?
Thank you.
The pleasure is mine. 'Tis an absolute honor to have the rare opportunity to see such a bright smile on your face, madame.
My apologies for keeping you out so late. I should get back to my room.
Oh, I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm more than up for a little more gum flapping.
You have improved my mood more than adequately. I would not want you to be tired for work tomorrow.
Okay. Well then, let's get out of here.
Yes, let's. Smiles on both of their faces, they made to exit the great hall. However, before they reached the door, it swung open.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, he got home early.
A man's towering shadow cast the two women into darkness, his cold, bitter stare fixed on them. If I'd had even the faintest premonition this might happen, I would have done anything in my power to stop the two cheery girls on their way to the hall. But I am eternally powerless.
What are you doing?
Standing before them, in the doorway, was the master of the house, Jacopo. I thought you would not be back until tomorrow. And how would you know that? No, forget that. Does my staying the night elsewhere have any effect on you? You were just waiting for this opportunity, weren't you? No. What would I possibly want you out of the house for? I'm sure you know better than anyone. What is that smell? Perfume? When did you get perfume? And I have to say, you seem to be having quite the time. Look at you. You're out of breath, right as a beet. I made the right decision coming back. Where in the hell were you going? No, I wasn't going. Jacopo, calm down, seriously. You shut it. Now you're taking this tramp side? I have told you before, you are not to leave this house without first consulting me. Or do you mean to tell me you've forgotten? God, your ears are just for show, alright? They're better than that. They'll even throw out the parts you don't want to hear. No, I swear. I wasn't doing anything you... Silence! I have no interest in your excuses. You're always watching from the shadows, observing, trying not to step on anyone's toes. And in the back of your mind, you're mocking me. No, Listen up and listen good. You just try stepping out of line again. You just try disgracing me again. You will not get away with it. For the love of God. Get back to your room now! You too, Maria! Alright. God, what is this sickeningly sweet smell? How utterly infuriating! Not that Italian. I was not even intending to go that Italian. I was just thinking Jacopo's upset right now and I just rolled with it. My bad. Oh, God. Okay, I'll tone down the Italian. I was trying to act like all upset and all that too. It'll take forever to get this off me. I'm now just doing it by accident. It'll take forever to get this off me. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Why did he have to disparage her so? Nah, it's funny. Oh, man. What did she do wrong? What did she do to deserve that? She did nothing whatsoever wrong. She deserved none of the ridicule he showered her with. However, she was not a strong-willed woman. She did not have the courage to retort to the man yelling at her. And neither did Maria, it seemed. Without another word, they both scrambled out of the great hall, away from Jacopo. The white-haired girl was a painfully miserable sight to behold. The cheer drained from her spirit, and the rosy hue from her now pale cheeks. She was hunched forward slightly, looking like a small, scared animal. Say, I'm sorry. This is all my fault. If I hadn't asked you to dance, and me bringing the perfume only made things worse. No, you need not feel bad about anything, Maria. Everything you did was with my best interests at heart. So, don't worry. I will be fine. So, madame, I'll clear everything up. I really am to blame, after all. He wouldn't even give you the time of day if you tried. He's a stubborn little shit when he's mad. I'll talk to him. He's more likely to listen to me. I'll make sure he knows he was jumping to conclusions that I'm the one who dragged you out there to dance. And also that I forced you to wear the perfume. I'll clear everything up, okay? So please, you cheer up. It would be best if I could tell him myself. But yes, you are right. He would surely not listen to me. He rarely ever listens to me. I should be ashamed. I cannot even hold a simple conversation with my own husband. These things happen, you know? It's not easy being married, in a lot of ways. Yes, you're right. I apologize for having you do something so unpleasant, but I would appreciate that. Oh no problem. I'm happy to. No need to apologize. I've got this. I'll dunk his head in cold water until he's not blowing steam from his ears anymore. I'll cool him down. Promise. And you never know. Maybe he'll be open to listening. You could be back to the way you were a year ago in no time. Don't you worry. I'll take care of it, madame. Be positive. You look so much better with a smile on your face. Alright. Thank you. I doubted Jacopo would listen, even coming from Maria. And I imagine the white-haired girl felt much the same way. However, she grabbed onto that sliver of hope. She let herself dream. She let herself believe, even just faintly, that everything would go well. Such is human nature. When uncertainty has you in its clutches, you grasp whatever hope you can find to keep yourself afloat. That night, she did not sleep. She was afraid that even in her dreams, Jacopo would be shouting at her. She felt as though her memories of a year prior were beginning to crumble away.
God, it's so horrific whenever the singers sing the end of the chapter. Nope. Alright, we're going to get some fun music for the end of the stream, because that is all the time I have for today's episode. Thank you all for joining me today. I find the storyline with Jacopo, the white-haired girl, and Maria to be very intriguing. It's horrifically beautiful. Yes, I do agree. That's a good description for that, lol. Yeah, it's horrifically beautiful. Now, oh man, there's one thing that's been bothering me so far about this chapter, actually. This may be just a hot take, and maybe I'm maybe going too far with this, but I feel like Maria might be a little deceitful. I don't know why, but the conversation she had with Jacopo seemed very friendly, and Jacopo did not seem like super angry at her when he was alone. Only in front of the white-haired girl, he was all angry and yelling at Maria, but when he was alone with Maria, Jacopo seemed a little, too friendly with Maria. So part of me feels like Maria's deceiving someone. You will see after, yeah. I'll probably see more of that, but oh man, I hate saying the fact that I don't know if I can trust Maria. I feel like Maria's up to something. I don't know why. Maria just feels like she's up to something, because she's overly nice to the white-haired girl, and she seems friendly with Jacopo, despite the fact that she is, constantly trashing him, to the white-haired girl. Like, she's trashing him behind his back. However, she's very friendly to Jacopo when they are alone together. That's one thing I noticed. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too far into it, but this is the industrial age, and Jacopo is in the world of stockbroking. That world is very cutthroat, and usually with the house in Fata Morgana, there's a parallel with the time period that people are in that they show in the storytelling. In the first store, it was in the 1600s, I think, yeah, early 1600s, Shakespeare's era. There was a sense of melancholic tragedy to the stories of the Flaxen Hair twins, Mel and Nellie. They were innocent, but then their innocence is kind of broken with reality. In the early 1700s, that was the story of Bestia, Yukimasa. and Yukimasa's story has the, theme of humanity. The 1700s, there was a lot of questions of humanity with all the wars going around. So, with the thoughts of, the war mindset, the distrust, as well as, like, the lack of humanity, I feel like this could translate to the 1860s in America. The world of the industrial age, but also, it was an age of swindling. Like, knowing my American history, there was a lot of swindlers, especially in the 1860s, especially when industrialization was getting, more popular. People are making a lot of money, but to make money, if you don't have as much skills, you go into trickery. I don't know, but I feel like Maria's cooking something, and she's going to betray someone. Would it be the white-haired girl? Would it be Jacopo? Or even both? Who knows? She might be playing 5D chess with the both of them. I just have to say, Maria's too friendly for me to trust her. Maybe that's just me thinking too far into it, especially with knowledge of, like, how things have been set up in the story so far. Like, I'm seeing a slight trend to things. So, I don't know. I feel like we might be getting swindled by Maria.
Okay.